So what I'm about to show you is the fastest way and also one of the most profitable ways of increasing conversion rates and increasing sales in whatever you offer, right? It doesn't matter whether it's a low ticket product, a high ticket product, use this process. So what is the process? Three things is calling the abandoned carts. So calling equals market research plus more cash at the same time, right? So what do I mean by that is when you call your abandoned carts, right? So every single person who goes to your sales page, they opt in, they get to the checkout, but they don't purchase on the checkout. If you call every single one of those, you're going to find out why people didn't buy. Because what happens is people put up a landing page, right? And then they go and run some ads. And then once you run the ads a little bit, what happens next? Well, then we go, oh, it's not converting. So what do? You go, I know, I think I'll change the headline. Based on what data? No one knows, right? So you just go, I'll change the headline. Try that. Oh, no, that didn't work either. You just go spend another $100. You spend another $1,000, right? Before you know it, you spent loads of money on something that isn't converting. But what if instead your customers could tell you exactly what to put on your landing page, right? Or your potential customers could tell you what to put on your landing page. So if you look at this process, is we call the abandoned cart, right? We find out why they didn't buy. And then firstly, you want to write down every single one of those reasons why they didn't buy. Like put it in a nice little Google sheet or something like that, right? So you've got all those collated together. And what you'll start to see is you'll start to see patterns very, very quickly. And if you're running any level of traffic, right? Like kind of if you've got like even 100 visitors a day going to your page, then if you think, let's say you get 20% of those people to opt in. So you got 20 out of 100. So you got 20 people you can call every single day, right? That's pretty good. So if you call 20 people, how much do you think your messaging would be refined if you took what they said? So the reason market research equals more cash is because you get to initially find out what went wrong, right? So it might be, hey, there was something broke on the page that you're not even aware of. So you might be trying to change this headline and add more testimonials in there or do whatever you want to do with it, but that's not actually making any difference. Instead, it might be better for when people are going through it, it's actually, oh yeah, I clicked the button to submit on the checkout page and it didn't work. Oh, I didn't know that, right? So what you want to do is call every single one, and then I'm going to show you how to turn that into immediate cash as well. So it's not just future cash in terms of, oh, I got the market research and then I'm going to improve the sales page and get the conversions there. I'm going to show you how to make cash straight away in that second. And the reason I can tell you that is because we've done this in our own businesses. I applied this to a bridesmaid dress business that we ran, and I called every single abandoned cart, every single one, right? It's like, sounds kind of crazy. But when you're doing the whole bootstrapping from day one, called every single one. And when I did, like I had great conversations with people and I found out really good insights and then fixed all those things in my ads. I fixed them on the sales page, I fixed them in the email follow-up, right? And then the conversions got higher and higher and higher. And we were at a 4x return on ad spend. So how do you call the abandoned carts? So firstly, what you do is do a courtesy call. So this is the angle, right? First thing you want to do is a courtesy call. You're not ringing up and saying, hey, why didn't you buy my stuff? Because that's not going to work, right? You ring them up and you say, hi, this is just a courtesy call. Noticed that you started checking out whatever the name of your product is, and for some reason you left the page. I just wondered, did something go wrong or did something break? I'm just here to help and support you as much as possible, right? And you notice there's a few little ums and ahs in there. It don't have to be like super tight. It just needs to feel real and human because like it's just a human to human, and it needs to come from a place that you genuinely care, right? So the angle is it's a courtesy call. So what do? You find out what went wrong. And here's one of the key questions to ask after you ask what went wrong. So they'll tell you a surface level thing. Oh, well, I was just looking, and yeah, I'm just thinking about a few different ideas at the moment. I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to go for, right? But then you find out the surface level there. If you ask the extra question, is like, I'm curious, what made you go to the site in the first place, right? Then you start to find out a little bit deeper. And they say, oh, because of this and this. Yeah, like for example, when we were selling bridesmaids dresses, I was just really trying to find like a dress that worked for all my bridesmaids. They're all different shapes and sizes, and I just wanted to have one that they're all happy with. It's like, oh, that's great. So did you know that our bridesmaids dresses have 18 different ways to wear them? Yeah, actually, that's what caught my eye initially. Oh, have you found any other dresses that do that? No, I haven't. Oh, interesting. Right. So what stopped you from purchasing? Well, I wasn't sure how to tie the dresses, right, etc. Well, did you know it actually comes with a waist to wear guide? What? Right, it comes with a waist to wear guide that shows you all the different ways that you can tie the dress and wear the dress in different ways. Oh, that's interesting, right? And then what do I know on my side when I'm writing my notes? So I'm kind of like guiding them back to the sale, but at the same time, I'm putting a note of going, need to make it more prominent that it gets the ways to wear guide with it, right? And that bonus is there. So what we're doing all the time is going, well, we might think we have a great offer, but if people are not seeing all the parts of the offer, then we need to make those clearer and easier to understand. So maybe if I look back at the ads all focused on the dress, for example, and it didn't feature the ways to wear guide at all. Maybe that's kind of like hidden away, right? So, and you can look at this. It doesn't mean you need to be selling bridesmaids dresses, right? But you can look at this, whatever your business is, and go, okay, what is that telling me, right? What is that telling me? What am I not seeing there? So once you find out what went wrong, then the other question to ask is, what else? What else? Not, is there anything else? Because then the default answer is no. Is there anything else? No, that was about it, really. Right? But if you say, what else? And it makes them think. So it's always good to ask those open-ended questions rather than closed questions. So if you ask closed questions like that are going to get a yes or no response, you're going to get a yes or no response. And typically you'll get a no response quite often when it comes to follow-up questions because it's just easier for the person to say that because the brain defaults that way. But if you ask an open-ended questions, like instead of like, it's the same when you ask for referrals for someone. Instead of saying, do you know anyone? No, I don't think I do right now. Rather than, who do you know? It makes the brain think differently. Right? So we ask what went wrong and then we thank them for the feedback. Right? So it's really important here that we thank that person for the feedback and say how valuable it is, because we want to create the environment on that call that it feels like a positive experience for the person. So, for example, look, so they tell you, oh, look, it was a ways to wear guide, like I didn't know how to tie the things. I really appreciate you bringing that to our attention, because if you're having that challenge and you're not seeing that on the page, it's probably a lot of other people that are not seeing it and not telling us. So that helps us make our service better, and it means we can make the product better as well. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Right, and this is the interesting part. This is where we create the bridge. To say thank you, we go to the next part. To say thank you, we give them a reward with a time limit on it. So, look, I wanted to say thank you for just sharing your thoughts and feedback with us today. So, if you're looking at getting these dresses at the moment, or whatever the product is, I want to give you a special discount code. Unfortunately, it's only valid for the next 24 hours. I don't have control over that, right? So you kind of take away that a little bit of ownership at that point. But I want to give you the discount code that's going to give you like 20% off or whatever the thing is. Now, if you just want to get your first dress, that's fine. If you want to go and get all of them, that's absolutely fine as well. You see how we're then reducing the ask down. So I'm not like, hey, go and spend $500 with us right now. I might be like, hey, go and spend $30. Order the first dress, see what you think. If you don't like it, send it back. That's fine, right? But what the crucial part here is we give the reward with a time limit. So 24 hours. Unfortunately, I don't have control over when it expires. And this is where we go into the handhold close, right? So the handhold close is this was closing 50% of abandoned carts. 50%, right? So you think every person that I connected with on the phone, 50% of those people were coming back and buying. What would that do to your business if you connected with 50% of the people who entered their details, right? And then they went ahead and bought. So think of it like this. If you don't have an opt-in on your page right now, and let's say, well, forget about the opt-in rate and just think about your sales conversion rate. Say your sales conversion rate is like 2%, right? So if we so let's say your sales conversion rate is 2%, and that's maybe your cost to acquire is like $100 or something right now. Now think about this. If you have 20% of people abandoning cart, so they're actually giving you the details, but they're not checking out, and you can close 50% of those people, well, that's half of the 20%. So that's 10% of people. So guess what? You just 5 times your sales by adding this one thing in. And at the same time, your conversions back as well because you've got all this market research of what you need to fix in your funnel, right? So this is essentially how you can essentially 5x your sales, right? By just calling the abandoned carts. And you might be like, I don't like being on the phone. Just do it, right? And if you really, really don't like it, if you are this massive introvert that can't speak to people, you've got no social skills, then instead, all you need to do is just go and hire someone to do that. And if you can't afford to hire someone to do that, then just do it yourself, right? I didn't particularly like every single time an abandoned cart came in for me having to ring that person like throughout every time of the day. It wasn't, I'm sure there's other things that I would have preferred to do with my time. However, what I do like is more money. So it's like, oh, I don't like doing it, just do it. Right. And then what you're doing, you're capturing all those details in the CRM. So when we walk through that handhold close, I just want to go back to that piece. When we walk someone through a handhold close with a limited time discount over the phone, this is the way that we do it. Okay, I've got a discount code for you. And say discount, it's probably I've got a coupon code for you to say thank you for spending the time on this call and sharing your thoughts and feedback with us. Now, have you got the website open on your phone or on the computer, right? And they say, oh, I haven't got it open at the moment. Oh, great. Can you get it open on your computer right now? Are you near a computer? Oh, yes, I am. Because if you've called them at the right time, they should still be on the computer, right? Or they're still on the phone and they're still got that open, right? So if it's on your phone, yeah, just hit that loudspeaker button. I'll talk you through it just to make sure that code works for you. Because the worst thing is, you get off the call and you try the code and then for some reason the code doesn't work. So let's just make sure that works now. Is that okay with you? Yeah, right. And then we walk them forward, right? So we're always getting confirmation along the journey. And then the next part of it is then we go, okay, so what can you see on your page? And they've typed in the URL or they've already got the URL open. So you give them the web address again if need be. So just so just go to www.test.com. What can you see on your screen? Okay, I can see the order page for the checkout. Okay, great. So on that page, can you see there's a little section there where it says your discount should have been automatically applied. Now, just from a technical standpoint, the best way to do this is use a deadline funnel or something like that, where it takes them to a unique URL and then it redirects after that 24-hour period. It's better than a coupon code. The reason I try not to use coupon codes on the checkout page is because then people go hunting for that coupon code, right? So they'll go, oh, I got a coupon code on here. Even if it's automatically applied, they go, I wonder if online I can find a better one. And guess what? They've gone searching down some rabbit hole and then they never come back. So it's better to take them to a specific deadline funnel page where that price is automatically done and there's no coupon code field. So once we've done that and we've got them to the page, we just walk them through the page. Okay, great. Can you see on screen? Oh, I can see where I put my address details in. So can you just put your details in there right now? Yeah. Okay, great. And then you just walk them through and say, so can you see how much that's taken off the price? Yeah. Yeah. And then if you just click submit on there, then I'll check your order's gone through correctly. And then I just want to make sure everything's absolutely sorted for you before you get off this call, so you got the best experience. Now, notice what we've done there. We've just handhold them through the close. Like if they say, oh, I can't buy it right now, then that's okay. You know, that's okay. You've got the page up in there writing, obviously I haven't got any control over it, but it'll expire in 24 hours. Are you okay with that? Yeah, that's fine. And what typically happens with that is that evening, they go back into the page, they go check out, and then happy days. So probably convert like half of those people on the call and the other half like later that day. Sometimes give a 48-hour window depending on like what is the impulse of the product, how many people are involved in the buying decision. For example, bridesmaids dresses, I think sometimes we do 48 hours just because they need to speak to the bridesmaids and say, hey, we're good on this one, and maybe speak to the husband, right? Husband to be, other decision makers involved in the process. So you see how we just walk people through the close, and then naturally they go and buy. And guess what? All those people, even the 50% that didn't buy, they told us why they didn't buy. And then we just fix it in our ads. And one of the key things that you do in the ads is handle every single objection that's come up. So if it's like, oh, I don't know how to do this, right? Is it a time thing? Is it a money thing? Is it ability thing? And it gives you all that stuff. Now, how you can do the same thing as well on SMS. So you do a courtesy message, hey, does something go wrong or something break? And then you do what went wrong, thank them for the feedback when they respond to that, then give them reward with the time limit, capture all the details in the CRM, and do exactly the same thing as you would do when you call the abandoned carts. But I highly, highly, highly recommend calling the abandoned carts. Now, depending what industry you are in, the pickup rate will be higher or lower. Like, for example, if I was calling people for bridesmaids dresses, the pickup rate was pretty high. So what we actually had is an automation setup that as soon as someone abandoned a cart, it would send a message to me in Facebook Messenger with their contact details that says, here's their name, here's the phone number, this is what they just left in the cart, and here's a script to go through on the call. And that was like a really, really cool widget that was linked in with Shopify at the time. You can probably do that with Zapier or whatever. Like, this is not a technical masterclass, but like you should be able to set it up pretty easily, right? So you just set up an alert when someone abandons the cart. When that happens, you want to call them within the first 5 minutes. You're going to get the pickup rate is going to be higher, and the positive response rate's got 85% if you call in the first 5 minutes. So that is the process to walk through and go through if you want to get the maximum amount of conversions, potentially convert as much as 500% more sales, and make money for doing market research. So you increase your front end sales and you increase your immediate follow-up sales as well. So try that process out and let me know how you get on.